at least one or two more problems. So that from tomorrow's class, I will try to start with the internal combustion engines. Okay. So then anything extra numericals and all, I'll take an extra class on any one of the Sunday, maybe this Sunday or something. Huh? So maybe on third, I think I'll try to take second or third. I'll try to take one extra class. Okay, fine. So one problem on diesel cycle, one problem on dual combustion cycle. Let me solve. But the problem statement is something like this: a diesel cycle uh, is designed is with a diesel cycle with a compression ratio of 18, operates on air with a low pressure of 200 kilopascals, okay, and a low pressure of 200 degrees Celsius. If the work output is to be 1000 kilojoules per kg, determine the thermal efficiency and the mean effective pressure. Also, compare the efficiency of Otto cycle operating with the same pressure, if possible. So, if possible, you can compare it and you can cross check it. So, as I told that, you can use the same procedure what we have used in the previous thing. That is putting 4 blocks, okay, putting 4 blocks and putting the PV and TS diagram to the right hand side. Let me put the PV and TS diagram to the right hand side. This is my PV diagram and TS diagram. Okay, this is a diesel cycle. So, what are the first thing you are supposed to do actually? You are supposed to draw the compression process from 1 to 2. Draw the compression process from 1 to 2. Then you have the constant pressure heat addition, that is from 2 to 3. It's a straight line. Then expansion process from 3 to 4. Then it's a constant volume heat rejection process. It's a vertical line. So this is your diesel cycle. So similarly on a TS diagram, I can represent it something like this. So 1 to 2 is a vertical line, 1 to 2. Then 2 to 3, it's a constant pressure heat addition. It will go like this. Then 3 to 4, it's expansion, that is isentropic expansion. It's a vertical line. Then from 4 to 1, it is constant volume heat rejection process. So this is your PV and TS diagram. Okay. So as I told that you can put some 4 blocks and try to solve all the things. So you can put 4 blocks. Okay. This represents the block 1. So I can use the same thing because it's a 4 points. Okay, this is what I have. Then, so if I call this as 1, okay, this as 1, 0.1, this as 0.2, this as 0.3, and this as 0.4. So 1 to 2, it is isentropic compression. So S is equal to constant isentropy. Then 2 to 3, it is constant pressure heat addition. So it is P is equal to constant. Then it is 3 to 4, it is isentropic expansion. Then 4 to 1, it is constant volume heat rejection process. Okay, so what is given actually? They have given your compression ratio, which is RC, they have given it as 18. Okay, so the low pressure means what actually? It is the P1. So P1 is equal to 200 kilopascals. Then the low temperature means T1. So T1 is equal to 200 degree Celsius. If you want, you can convert it to Kelvin, or you can 200 plus 273, it will be 473 degree Kelvin. Okay, then they have given the work output is 1000 kgs, that is W. So work output This W is equal to 1000 kilojoules per kg. So determine the thermal efficiency and mean effective pressure. So this is what they are given. Okay. Now one by one we have to solve it actually. Okay, fine. The first and the foremost thing actually here is, so I need to know what is this R actually. RC is 18. What is your work done? Work done is nothing but heat supplied minus heat rejected. Okay, so if you try to look at actually, and there is a thermal efficiency that they given? No, 18, 200, 200, that's it. Okay, fine. So thermal efficiency is nothing but your work done by heat supplied. Okay, thermal efficiency is not work done by heat supplied, or mean effective pressure is nothing but work done by your stroke volume. So I can go by that particular logic, then I can find the remaining things. So first and the foremost thing is, let's try to assume this being a working fluid is an air. So Cp will be 1.005. That's an assumption what I make. So Cp is equal to 1.005 kilojoules per kg at normal temperature and pressure for the air. Working fluid is air. So what is your thermal efficiency? Your thermal efficiency is given by thermal efficiency. It's given by two formula, that is work done by heat supplied. Okay, and also we have derived one formula, that is 1 minus, okay, rho to the power of gamma minus 1 divided by RC to the power of gamma minus 1 into rho minus 1 into gamma. Okay, so this is the formula they are given. So this is the formula what we have derived actually. So this is the formula. So thermal efficiency can be found using these two formulas. Let's go to the what is given in the numerical. That is P1 V1 is equal to RT1. Okay. So now in this thing actually I don't know the value of V1. So V1 is equal to R into T1 by P1, where R is equal to 287 joules per kg degree Kelvin. So I will substitute it. 287 into your temperature is, it should be in Kelvin, that is 200 plus 273, that is 473 divided by 200 into 10 to the power of 3. So this is my V1. So 287 into 473 divided by 200 10 to the power of 3. If I do that, I am getting my V1 as 0.678 or 0.68 meter cube per kg. So this is the volume what I am getting. Okay. Now what is compression ratio? RC is nothing but your V1 by V2, or I can find V2 is equal to V1 divided by RC. So V1 is nothing but, just now we have found it is 0.68 divided by 18. So 0.68 divided by 18, if I put it, I am getting my V2 as 0.0377 meter cube per kg. Okay. So now difference between this V1 and V2 will give your stroke volume. So 0.68 minus 0.037 will give your stroke volume. Okay. At the same time, I don't know the temperatures. So for the process 1 to 2, so I know that it is T2 by T1 is equal to, okay, I know for the process 1 to 2, it is T2 by T1 is equal to V1 by V2 whole to the power of gamma minus 1. What is V1 by V2? It is RC. Okay, that is T2 by T1 is equal to RC to the power of gamma minus 1 or I can write T2 is equal to T1 into RC to the power of gamma minus 1. So your T1 is 473 Kelvin. So I have to ensure that these temperatures are in Kelvin. So 473 into 18 to the power of 1.4 minus 1. So therefore my T2 is equal to 18 to the power of 0.4 into 473. If I substitute, my T2 is equal to 1503 degree Kelvin. Okay, this is my T2. Okay, fine. Now I know the what is your work done? Work done is nothing but heat supplied minus heat rejected. Work done is nothing but heat supplied minus heat rejected. Yeah. So work done is equal to heat supplied minus heat rejected, or so any, yeah, only one of the data is missing. Okay. So your work done is 1000 kg. So work done is equal to QH minus QL. So what is your QH? It is actually, it is MCP, that is CP into T3 minus T2 minus CV into T4 minus T1. Yeah. T4 minus T1. So this is my work done. So if you look at it, I know the value of T1, I know the value of T3, sorry, T2. So I need to find T2 actually. So now if you go back and see here actually, what type of process is uh, between your 2 and 3. See here, see P1, see I can find the value of P2. So here I know the value of, here I have found the value of T3, which is, so sorry, T2, it is 1503. I know the value of T2, which is 1503 Kelvin. So I don't know the value of P2. So P2 by P1 I can find. So P2 by P1 is equal to, what is P2? P2, I can find it as P2 V2 is equal to R into T2, or P2 is equal to R into T2 divided by V2. So just now we have found V2 is 0.037, R is 287, 287 into 1503 divided by your V2 is 0.037. So I can find the corresponding V2. Okay, 287 into 1503 divided by 0.037. If I do 287 into 1503 divided by 0.037. If I do, I am getting around 116.58 kilopascals. 116.58 bar, sorry. Okay, 116.58 bar. Okay, this is R. This is the P2, what I am getting. 116.58 bar. Now P2 is equal to P3. P3 is also equal to 116.10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square, or 116.58 bar. Now if you look at it, P2 is equal to P3, I can find your T3. I can find T3. Okay. So how it is actually? Using the equation. Okay. Using the equation, P2 is equal to P3 as P2 is equal to P3. So I can find your, so what it is actually, it is P2 V2 by, see, I can put it as P2 is equal to P3, that is V2 by V3 is equal to T2 by T3. Okay, T2 by T3. but I don't know the value of T3. So I need to find T4 or something. So T4, how I can find actually? So T4, I don't know the value of T4. Yeah. So T4 has to be found and T3 has to be found. Okay. V3 has to be found. Okay. V3 has to be found. So T2 is equal to T3. Okay. This is my 116.58 bar. P2 is equal to P3. Okay, therefore V2 by V3 is equal to T2 by T3. T2 is 1503. Okay, so if I go back and check for this temperature, what is the compression ratio? So T3 by T4, T3 by T4 is equal to compression and expansion. P3 by P4. So I need one of the data is missing here. So one of the cutoff ratio. So in this problem statement, one particular thing is missing. So one is that is the rho cutoff ratio. You take that rho is equal to some 3.5. Okay, rho is cutoff ratio is missing. So if I take rho is equal to 3.5, assume rho is equal to, which is V3 by V2. V3 by V2 is equal to 3.5. So therefore your V3 is equal to rho into V2. Rho into V2, that is 3.5 into 0.037. 0.037. So therefore V3 is equal to 3.5 into 0.037, which is 0.1295 meter cube per kg. I got V3. So now I can substitute over here. I can find T3. I can find T3. So T3 is nothing but, in this equation, T3 is equal to your T2 into V3 by V2. So T2 is 1503 into your V2 is, V3 is 0.1295. So your V2 is 0.037. So I'll be getting my T3 as 0.1295 divided by 0.037 into 1503. So roughly it will be around 5261 Kelvin. So this is my temperature T3. 5261. 5261 Kelvin. So this is my temperature I got. So T3 I got, T2 I got. So now if you want, I can find the heat supplied. Okay, what is heat supplied? So QH is equal to Cp into T3 minus T2. Okay, so that is equal to Cp is 1.005 into 10 to the power of 3. Then T3 is 5261 minus T2 is 1503. So I got my QH. So QH is equal to 5261 minus 1503 into 1.005 into 10 to the power of 3. So that is 3777 kilojoules per kg. So what is my thermal efficiency? Thermal efficiency is nothing but work done by heat supplied. Okay, I can use the first formula. Work done by heat supply if I use, I'll be getting my thermal efficiency. So therefore, the thermal efficiency is equal to work done, which is given as 1000 kilojoules per kg. Okay, that is W by QH, which is 1000 kilojoules per kg divided by 3777 7. So I'll be getting around 26.47%. 26.47% is the thermal efficiency. This is the first formula. Then what is my mean effective pressure? Which is work done by V1 minus V2. So that is 1000 into 10 to the power of 3. So here 10 to the power of 3, 10 to the power of 3 both cancels. That's why. So divided by, so your V1 is 0.68 minus your V2 is 0.037. 037. So this is the thing, 1000 10 to the power of 3 divided by 0.68 minus 0.037. Okay, so it is divided by 110 to the power of 5, 15.55 bar. 15.55 bar. So whatever they asked in the numerical, we are able to solve it. See what they have asked actually, they have asked us to determine the thermal efficiency and the mean effective pressure. So if you want, you can see, you can solve the same problem. You can solve the same problem for Otto cycle, considering the same conditions. Considering the same maximum pressure, that is, what is the maximum pressure? It is 116.58. Try to solve for Otto cycle. Yesterday, whatever we did, no. So in that fashion, try to solve it. So that's, you take it as an homework for that. So that will help you how to solve the problem on the Otto cycle. So on the diesel cycle, I think one of the data was missing because the cutoff ratio was missing. So which it should have been given the numerical. You take it as rho is equal to 2.5, sorry 3.5, or you can assume it as around 3.5. Usually it will be given in the numerical. That fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is about your simple. See, one particular thing is actually use your thermodynamic processes, either T2 by T1, any somewhere the formula will be there, and you will be able to get it. Either PV is equal to RT, or T2 by T1 to the is equal to V1 to the power of V1 by V2 whole to the power gamma minus 1, or P2 by P1 is equal to T2 by T whole to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma. So any one of these thermodynamic formulas, whatever you have, no, those processes somewhere you will be able to get the properties, either a 2, 3 and all. So once you find it, actually you can easily go back over here and write whatever you have calculated. It is 26.47 and your mean effective pressure was 55 point, no, it is 15.55 15.55 bar. So like this you can find, if you write it, it will be easy for you. Okay, so we have one more half an hour actually. We'll try to solve one problem on dual combustion cycle. Okay. Yeah. So the problem statement is something like this. A dual cycle with a compression ratio of 18 and rho is equal to 2 and a pressure ratio of 1.2 operates on 0.5 kg per second of air. That is, a mass flow rate is given here, 0.5 kg per second at 100 kilopascals and 20 degrees Celsius at the beginning of the compression process. Okay, then calculate the thermal efficiency, the energy input and the power output. So you have to find the thermal efficiency, QH and your power output. So these three things you have to find it. So here, so in the previous problem we had only 4 points, but from this problem dual combustion cycle you have 5 points actually. So let's try to draw the PV and TS diagram first. So this is my PV diagram. And this is my TS diagram. Okay, so here I have 5 different points. So first it will be 1 to 2, that is a compression process. Okay, that is 1 to 2 you have. Then you have constant volume heat addition, that is from 2 to 3, a straight line, that is 2 to 3. Then constant pressure heat addition, a part of it, that is 3 to 4. Then your expansion process, okay, your expansion process is from 4 to 5. So this is what we have, 4 to 5. Then 5 to 1, your isentropic, a constant volume heat rejection. So you have heat addition here, QH. So you have heat addition QH here, and you have heat rejection QL here. So similarly, if you try to draw the TS diagram, 1 to 2 is isentropic process. It's a straight line. It's 1 to 2. Then you have constant volume heat addition. Just little bit flat curve, 2 to 3. Then you have the constant pressure heat addition, 3 to 4. Then 4 to 1, it is isentropic expansion process, 4 to 1. Then you have the last one is the actually constant volume heat rejection process. So this is how your constant volume, see, your heat addition takes place at constant volume and constant pressure, and heat rejection takes place at only constant volume. Okay. Now if here I do have 5 different points. Okay, instead of 4 points, I have 5 points here. So let me write the rectangle for all the 5 different points. Okay, so this is what I have actually. So what I'm going to do, so I will copy the same thing for 5 different points. Okay, fine. Now where is the point 1? Point 1 is here. Okay, point 1 is here. So point 2 is here. Point 3 is here. Then 4. Then you have 5. So 1 to 2, it is actually isentropic compression process. Okay, that's why it is S is equal to constant, or PV to power of gamma is equal to constant. Then for 2 to 3, it is volume is equal to constant. Then from 3 to 4, it is constant pressure. So P is equal to constant. P is equal to constant. Then from 4 to 5, it is S is equal to constant. That is it's an isentropic process. Then from 5 to 1, it is volume is equal to constant. So this is how you can represent it. See what is given in the problem statement. They are given RC is equal to 18. So they have given rho is equal to 2. The pressure ratio RP is equal to 1.2, and they have given the mass flow rate, which is 0.5 kg per second. And they are given the initial temperature and pressure, that is P1 is equal to 100 kilopascals. Your T1 is equal to 20 degrees Celsius or 293 degree Kelvin. Okay, this is what they are given. And you have to find the thermal efficiency, the energy input, and the power output. So I have put all the data what is given, and we'll try to calculate each and everything, and then we'll try to substitute it. Okay. See, for a dual combustion cycle, the thermal efficiency is given by this particular formula, which already we have derived. The thermal efficiency for a dual combustion cycle is given by, this is the formula what we have. Thermal efficiency is equal to work done by heat supplied, or already we have derived the formula in in terms of RC, all those things and all. Okay, in terms of RC and all. So 1 by RC to the power of gamma minus 1 into rho to the power of gamma RP minus 1 divided by RP minus 1 plus gamma into RP into rho minus 1. This is the formula, already we have derived it. So we are going to use this particular formula. Okay. Now every value is there in the problem statement. I will substitute that. So 1 minus 1 by RC is given as 18. So 18 to the power of 1.4 minus 1 into rho they given as 2. So 2 to the power of 1.4 into RP is 1.2 minus 1 divided by RP is 1.2, it is 1.2 minus 1 plus your gamma is 1.4 into 1.2 into 2 minus 1. So if I try to substitute everything and obtain the thermal efficiency, the thermal efficiency I am getting it as 63.72%. 63.72%. Okay. Then I need to find the other points, temperatures and all in between. So consider the process. So okay, for the process, 1 to 2, okay. So T2 by T1 is equal to V1 by V2 whole to the power of gamma minus 1, or it is T2 by T1 is equal to RC to the power of gamma minus 1. Okay, or your T1 is equal to, T2 is equal to T1 into RC to the power of gamma minus 1. Okay, what is your T1? T1 is 20 degrees. So 20 plus 273, it is 293 degree Kelvin. It should be in Kelvin. Absolute. 293 into, so, sir class ತಗೊಂತಾ ಇದೆ 80D ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ತಗೊಂತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ. ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 80D ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ತಗೊಂತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಆಯ್ತು. Okay, fine. So T1 into RC to the power of gamma minus 1. So 293 into RC is 18. So 18 to the power of 1.4 minus 1. So if I substitute everything, I'm getting in my calculator. So 931 Kelvin. Okay. Now let us consider the other process. That is for the process 2 to 3. For the process 2 to 3. Okay, that is, what is it actually? It is volume V2 is equal to V3. So I got the value of T2 is 931 Kelvin. Just I will go here and put this. So T2 is equal to 931 Kelvin. So let us, when and where we have calculate that particular point, no, we'll try to put it over there. So for the process 2 to 3, so it is actually P2 V2 is equal to MRT, or V2 is equal to V3. I can write T2 by T3. Okay, T2 by T3 is equal to P2 by P3. Okay, what is your P2 by P3 by P2? Okay, P3 by P3, or I can write your T3, I can write it as, okay, T3 I can write it as pressure ratio. That is your RP, P3 by P2. So P3 I can write it as P3 by P2 into T2. So pressure ratio is nothing but your P3 by P2. Therefore your T3 is equal to RP into T2, or your RP they given it as 1.2. So 1.2 into your T2 is 931. So I got my T3 as 1117 Kelvin. So just I will go here and substitute the value. So T3 is equal to 1117 Kelvin. Okay. So like this, I will go to the, I need to find T4. I need to find T4. Okay. So I'll consider the process. So for the process 3 to 4, it's a constant pressure process. Okay. 3 to 4 is a constant pressure process. So what it is actually, if we go back and see, 3 to 4 it is P3 is equal to P4. Okay. P3 is equal to, here P3 is equal to P4. So here I can write it as, you have a cutoff ratio, rho is equal to V4 by V3. Okay, which is given in the problem statement. V4 by V3 they given it as 2. So therefore, I can write V3 by T3, V3 by, V3 by T3 is equal to V4 by T4. V4 by T4. And they are given in the problem statement, rho is equal to V4 by V3, which is equal to 2. Okay, so therefore T4 is equal to V4 by V3 into T3. So they are given V4 by V3 as 2 into your T3 as 1117 Kelvin. So I will be getting 2234 Kelvin. So I got my T2, I got my T3, and I got my T4. So T4 is equal to 2234 Kelvin, which is T4. Okay, now I can find the heat supplied because I need to find the thermal efficiency. So for that I need to find the heat supplied. Okay, so thermal efficiency, heat supplied, and power output. So all the three things we have to find it. First, let's find the heat supplied. Okay, so heat supplied is given by heat supplied. So QH is given by, first you have the mass flow rate here. So here it is mass flow rate into, first it is a constant volume, CV into T3 minus T2, constant volume heat addition, plus CP into your constant pressure heated, that is T4 minus T3. Okay, so now let's me substitute everything. QH is equal to mass flow rate, they given it as 0.5. Okay, 0.5 into 0.5 into CV is 0.718 into 10 to the power of 3 into T3. Okay, T3 is 1117 minus your T2 is actually 931 plus your CP is 1.005 into 10 to the power of 3 into your T4 is 2234 minus your T3 is 1117 degree Kelvin. So if I substitute everything, I am getting my heat supplied as 630 kilowatts directly. So directly it's in kilowatts because I am multiplying by mass flow rate, which is 0.5 kg per second. Otherwise, I would have got kilojoules per kg. So kilojoules per kg into kg per second if I do, so it will become kilojoules per second. I'm getting, so this is nothing but kilojoules per second directly because I'm multiplying by mass flow rate here. Okay. So this is the first one. I got the second quantity, that is your heat supplied. Then what is my thermal efficiency? So thermal efficiency is the work done by your heat supplied. Work done by your heat supplied. What is your work done? Work done is nothing but your power output. Okay, work done is nothing but your power output. So power output is nothing but your thermal efficiency into heat supplied. Okay, so second thing is, so already I got a thermal efficiency. So your power output or work done. Power output or work done. So what is it actually? Which is equal to the product of thermal efficiency into your heat supplied. So there we got the thermal efficiency from the formula as 0.6372 or 63.72%. That is 0.6372 into 630 kilowatts. Okay, if I do that, so either this will be either work done per second or power output, which is I am getting around roughly around 401 kilowatts or kilojoules per second. Okay, so they have asked us to find three things. One is thermal efficiency. I can go back and write all the values, whatever I have calculated. Okay, so thermal efficiency, which is 63.72 percentage. Then I found the heat supply, that is QH, which is 630 kilojoules per second or kilowatts. Then the power input or work output is equal to 401 kilowatts. So each and every quantity which was asked in the problem statement is